Hey ladies and gents, I am currently in the process of organizing my 1 billion Skyblock coin giveaway. One lucky winner will take home a paycheck of 1 billion Skyblock coins. To apply to potentially partake, join my Discord, linked in the description, verify, and then find the tournament form in the announcements channel. There, you may fill out the form if you're interested. Best of luck! What's going on everyone, it's your favorite blue guy here. I've previously talked about my reasons as to my lack of participation in guilds on the server. That was about a year ago at this point, and people seem to be really interested in that kind of subject. So today I thought I'd go into detail about another section of Hypixel that I don't really partake in anymore: housing. For those that somehow don't know what housing is, it's essentially every cracked server that exists out there except way smaller and legal. Players have the ability to essentially create their own little houses on their own miniature server, whether it be free builds, role-playing, parkour, or talk shows maybe. They could make almost whatever they wanted, and players could visit these houses and experience them for themselves. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't hate housing. In fact, I was a giant part of housing back when it first came to be. Remember when I showed that screenshot seconds ago? That was a screenshot of the Hypixel show, a talk show that I started in my housing back when it was first released. It was a show that acted in a similar manner as The Late Show, except it was YouTubers and staff and prominent players we interviewed. Fun fact, the Hypixel show is the topic that I've tried to make a video on more times than any other subject, and I've never been able to make a proper video about it I'd be happy with. It's a surprisingly hard topic to be able to talk about in detail, and I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to find a way to do it, but hopefully that day comes along one day. After we ended the Hypixel show, I haven't really been seen in housing as much. Apart from a second attempt at the talk show format and my special 7-year anniversary housing, I've not done anything meaningful there since, and to be honest, I've never really found any reason to do so. I've got a few reasons here why I don't really like going into housing today like I did in the past. Like always, if you agree or disagree with anything I say, explain in the comments, and I may listen and maybe take what you say into account. Now, let's get into it. I just don't have the time anymore. Back when I did the Hypixel show, I was still in high school, and I would usually have all the time in the world to focus on making sure everything was good. Something like the Hypixel show was not a one-day-a-week thing. It was something that we had to constantly put time into, from getting people to interview, to actually writing down questions to ask, to updating the studio build 3 times when the show was getting bigger, etc. Once we had ended the show, college was about to start for me, and so all that time I had before was gone without a trace. Time is still kind of like that for me, at least to the point where I feel like I couldn't properly manage a housing show like that again. I mean, honestly, I could be lazy and make a generic parkour house, but there wouldn't be anything special about it. I always want to try to be unique with the things I do and put effort into them. I'd feel really guilty if I decided to build something really generic. No offense to those parkour houses that are popular now, but yeah. What people expect in housing now is not something I feel like I could properly make up to standards. All the popular houses these days are mostly those parkour houses that are more or less the same thing every time, but there's also roleplay houses, free build houses, escape houses, and those houses. No one really cares about talk show houses anymore, and those are what I like doing in that mode. If no one really wants it, I see no need to try to continue it, especially if I don't have the time to make it special anymore. Probably the best chance I'd have at making a housing that I'd be happy with would fall in the escape category, but like I've said before, making good ones takes time, which is something I don't have a lot of these days. My love for housing took a giant hit the moment the furniture update was released. Imagine my surprise when this update, that I was anticipating a long time for to make my housing look far better, ended up costing nearly $100 to unlock everything that came with it. Still probably remains among the top 2 greediest decisions made by the server, and it was ultimately the last straw for me in housing as my main pastime on the server. This one doesn't really have much detail to it. I don't think there's really much more that needs to be said. Now, just recently, right before the new year, the server did send out another update to housing, adding things such as custom commands, a scoreboard editor, and even the ability to play custom sounds with resource packs. I don't know if these changes will get me to try out housing again, but I think it's a good thing for housing moving forward. Basically, if housing culture stays the way it is now, then I'm likely not touching it again. However, unlike guilds, I could see myself potentially trying out housing again if the culture and community actually changes, which I can possibly see happening. I do hope you guys understand why I'm not really into housing that much anymore. Like I said before, I'm gonna read the comments on this one. Maybe you'll say something that'll change some of my viewpoints. I say go for it if you think there's something that I forgot to say. I do hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that sub button. I'm really close to 4,000 as of the time I'm recording this. The goal is 10,000 by the end of this year, and I really think we can do it. And with that, I will see you guys next time. Peace.
Yo, listen up, here's the story about a little guy like him inside and outside.